My eyes are really pretty right here.
Know what I'm gonna say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm gonna rule the world or I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
Ashe warriors, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is the Sacred Empress, and today I'm going to be talking about shadow work. Shadow work for me is the process of understanding yourself on a deeper, intimate level with no shame, no judgment, nothing but love and compassion. It's very important to give yourself love and compassion while you're reflecting on your traumas, your insecurities, your fears, the things you hate, the triggers that you have. So that's been my process, and that has been how I viewed shadow work for about a while. I started doing shadow work about 2 years ago. I wasn't really familiar with it because when I started my journey, I was really just focusing on, meditating, working on my chakras, things like that. For me, shadow work has definitely been a very big part of my journey because I'm somebody that, I want to understand myself better. I want to love myself and heal and work on things that, I usually would not want to work on. Shadow work has really given me an outlet and a source to understand myself like nobody else, So it's definitely been a beautiful experience, and I cannot wait to share my ideas and my beliefs with you guys today. So for me, I try to do it based off of like what I'm going through, whether it be in the moment, whether it be throughout the week, the month, etc. So I go to therapy every Wednesday. And usually when I go to, therapy, I get my clarity and I come to therapy and I talk about, what I've learned in the week. And I try to use that as a way to reflect and get as deep as I can with, myself, with my therapist. And then after therapy, I only have it once a week. So after therapy, it's me being my own therapist for the rest of the week, and it can be very hard. And I'm somebody that I've always been super hard on myself. I've always been a perfectionist, but that's something that I have to work on. So when it comes to shadow work, you're really just reflecting and you're understanding yourself a little bit better. And, you're taking the proper steps to healing, certain wounds and, healing certain beliefs and things that, are disrupting your peace. Basically, I have been working on, people pleasing. I've been, healing from traumas that I've gone through. So there's been a lot of things, throughout my experience that, have brought me to this point and have allowed me to, see myself in a different light because, I used to be super insecure. I used to be somebody that didn't do this, didn't get on, the phone and record period, didn't really record myself doing anything, whether it be Vines, TikToks, Instagram videos. Like, I hated taking pictures. I hated when people would take pictures of me. And with shadow work, I'm able to understand why I stayed away from those things, why I stayed away from certain people, why I kept to myself, why I chose to be a loner, why I didn't really have many friends. Like, there was so much about myself that I had to learn. And I learned a lot through shadow work. So shadow work, I feel, is, an amazing tool. It's great, especially if you're somebody that, you don't understand why you're feeling certain ways, or you don't understand why this thing stresses you out, or this triggers you, this bothers you. It gives us a space to open ourselves up to healing those things and, nurturing ourselves. And I think a lot of people see this as something to be afraid of, but I've never been scared to do shadow work. I don't know if that's because I'm ruled by Saturn, or that I've just gone through so much and, it's just in me to like want to heal. So I don't know. But with shadow work, I have just always felt like I needed it. I always felt like I needed a therapist. I always felt like I needed to reflect and understand myself a little bit better. For the most part, it was something that I hesitated on at first because I didn't want to talk about my trauma. I didn't want to talk about my insecurities. I didn't want to talk about the things that scared me. I didn't want to talk about what was wrong, Shadow work is a solution, and I really found it necessary 2 years ago, and that's where I started. I started 2 years ago because a lot of my traumas and things that I experienced were coming up, and I didn't really know how to heal, and how to be what I needed in that moment. Like, when I was reflecting on my traumas and I was reflecting on the things that I had gone through, I didn't really think to write about it. I didn't think to talk to somebody about it because it was something that I had bottled in for years. I was bottling this stuff in for years. Like, I didn't want to talk about what happened. I didn't want to talk about what people did to me. I felt like it was something that I was supposed to keep to myself. I always felt that way. And with shadow work, it really just gave me that outlet to be like, hey, like, I understand these things happened. I understand that this is the outcome, but this isn't all that you can be, you know? Like, you don't have to just settle for what happened to you in the past. You don't have to settle for relationships that are abusive and toxic. You don't have to settle for a lifestyle that is a lifestyle of lack, you know, a lifestyle of pain and stress and struggle, you know? So with shadow work, it's really showed me that there's so much more beyond the surface that, you know, I've overlooked. For me, I wasn't really a talkative person growing up. You know, I grew up and I felt very odd. I felt very out of place because I didn't really think that I blended in with anybody. I didn't think that I, you know, got along with certain people. So I always chose to be by myself. It was a choice. It wasn't a people put me in a category. It was me just saying, like, I don't relate to nobody. I'm going to be by myself, you know, and that's self-sabotage. I was sabotaging myself for a very long time. And in doing this, you know, I probably missed out on a lot of good friendships. I probably missed out on a lot of good things in my life. But, you know, where I'm at with it, you know, it's like everything happens for a reason. Reflect on the little things and, you know, just going about their day. But for me, I try to get down to the nitty gritty. I try to get down to the bottom of everything, every situation that I'm going through. Like, I try to get down to the depths because I feel like there's always more, you know, to what I can understand about myself. So I always try to go the extra mile with shadow work because I understand it's not easy. Shadow work is not easy. I think that a lot of people get into spirituality and they want things to be easy. They think that this is the easy way out. They think that, oh, this is better because you get to do this, you get to do that. Oh, we can do cards, we can have crystals, we can do all these different things, but it's not really about that. You know, it's not about the possessions. It's about possessing yourself and knowing that you are someone and that you are worthy and that you are, you know, an abundant being. But removing the masks that kept you from that. Everybody wants a pretty experience, but it's not meant to be pretty because there's ugly shit that we've gone through that we need to talk about. You know, there's things that we see. There's people that we interact with. There's so many experiences that we have that are not the greatest. And people want the pretty. But I feel like we don't honor the ugly, you know? And I feel like that's what shadow work is about. Honoring the ugly. Honoring the things that aren't the cutest, aren't the greatest, aren't the easiest things to talk about. If you're looking to heal, if you're looking to make changes in your life, shadow work is the way. A lot of things are easier said than done. You know, when it comes to shadow work, a lot of people say they can do it, but doing it that's the hard part. You know, doing the shadow work, sitting with yourself, having those uncomfortable conversations, having those sleepless nights. It happens, you know. We have those nights where we're like, damn, I don't even know if I can go to sleep after that because it can get that intense. And I know for me, it's always my heart space that it feels so heavy. My heart feels like it's about to just explode sometime. But when I think about it, I think about all the things that I never said, all the things that I did that I didn't want to do, all the people that I, you know, surrounded myself with that I didn't really enjoy being around. You know, it was so much going on and I was somebody that was very silent and I didn't speak up and I didn't say no and I didn't, you know, take matters into my own hands because I felt defenseless at that point. You know, I didn't feel like I was able to protect myself or, you know, to save myself in a sense. But, you know, with this, I was able to save myself. I was able to pull myself out of places that I never thought I was going to be pulled out of. I was able to do things that I never thought I was going to be able to do. I was able to say things that I was never able to say. So shadow work, it really allows you to transform yourself, whether it be your body, whether it be your mind, whether it be your spirit. Like, I have been able to go through so many transformations and changes in my life. Like, people that knew me when I was younger will always say, like, you know, I really love the person that you've grown up to be. Like, people always tell me, like, you know, they're happy with, you know, the path that I'm walking in and they're happy with the person that I'm becoming and all of this. And it feels so good to hear that because I know that I did it, you know, by the grace of God. I was able to change my ways. I was able to get out of that depression and get out of that space of, you know, suffering and choose my happiness. And, you know, it feels damn good to say that because, like, I had a dark cloud over me. Like, I wasn't happy. Nothing made me happy. I was miserable. There was so much that was hurting me inside. And I kept it in because what was the point? That's how I feel. I feel like, what was the point of talking about my problems? What's the point of talking about my traumas? What's the point of telling my side of the story if nobody's going to listen, if nobody's going to care, if people are going to react negatively to the things that I've already gone through? Like, I didn't care to get a reaction out of people about what I gone through. I didn't want that pity. I didn't want people to feel bad for me. I didn't want people to try to tell me what I need to do now that I done already told y'all what I'm going through. Like, I didn't need that, you know? And when I did speak up, I got those reactions that I wasn't looking for, you know, and I just held everything in because I was always fearing, you know, the responses. I was always fearing the negativity. I was always scared to be seen and perceived in a different light. So, you know, one thing that I'm still working on to this day is not shaming myself and not making myself feel bad for what I've gone through and who I am and my insecurities and things like that. Like, there's so much that, you know, I've held in for 20 plus years, and I owe it to myself. I owe it to God, because I remember one night, y'all, I had prayed so hard. I was telling God, like, I do not want to live like this no more. Like, this hurts. I'm tired of hurting. Like, please heal me. Please love me. Please give me the things that I need. Like, this does not feel good. I do not feel content. I do not feel safe. I do not feel like I want to live anymore. I don't want to feel like that. I didn't want to feel like that, you know? And I just lost so many people in my life, people that I did confide in, people that I did trust, people that I did talk to. I lost people that I really loved, and, you know, it just made it very hard for me to open up. It made it very hard for me to be vulnerable, because vulnerability scares me, you know? It scares me, but, you know, I'm taking baby steps. I'm not forcing or rushing myself to, you know, do shadow work every day, do this, you know. I'm taking my time with it, because I realize that, you know, with this life, like, I don't get all the time in the world, but right now in the present moment, this is all the time in the world right here. You know, this is where it matters. I got to make all of this count. I have to make every little second in the present moment count. And that's what I'm doing. I'm documenting it. If we don't come into this world all lined up to do the same things, you know. So I'm just telling y'all my journey and what I've experienced and how I view things. And if you guys have questions on shadow work, I would definitely love to answer them in a different video next Saturday. Let me know what y'all want to see more of on my YouTube channel. I will make sure to deliver. I will see y'all next time. Thank y'all for tuning into the YouTube video. I hope y'all learned something new about shadow work, or at least got a little taste of something from me today. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. Don't forget to hydrate, meditate, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. You gonna have to go away. Social distance.